Good morning. Welcome to the Brew, the Friday edition with Paulina Likos. Today, we will talk about stock market rotation, meta, and has Halloween come early to some semi-stocks? Let's look into this on the opening bell. Oh, what do you think, Paulina? The head thumping music, a little.
I like it. I like it.
I like it too. So they have me doing this. We said this last time. I'm putting in. Molly and I are collaborating on a Spotify playlist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's a royalty-free kind of thing. I don't know how it's royalty-free yet, but I'm hoping Molly does. And we're going to be able to put in our favorite songs. So you're going to stay tuned.
Sign me up for that. I wanna like that playlist.
All right, good. You gotta contribute too if you want.
Mm-hmm.
How are things? How has the week gone so far? We're already at Friday. Shocker.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a busy week. There's a lot of earnings that are being lined up. So even though the summer's pretty slow, it's shaping up to be a busy one as we are in the second quarter now.
Okay. Yeah. I find that I was talking about this with some folks at Tradier today too. July is a really dead month. It's been I've been in this business for so long, and even in the trading side of it, July was just a sleeper. I used to go in semi-regularly to the trading floor back when there was one, and we'd read the newspaper all day. Occasionally, you get a good order. Once in a while, but it was pretty much just maintaining the ship for what it's worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys find that in the news business as well?
Definitely, especially in the news business, the cycle is kind of slower, so you have to be more creative with the stories that you put out. But thankfully, there's so much going on in the world of business. I feel like AI is fueling so many of the headlines nowadays, and that's helping with the creativity of my pitches. So that's really been helping. And then on top of that, we're in a presidential election cycle, and that's shaking things up a bit. So there is some movement happening here and there.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you think we're going to get a little volatility with the election coming up? I mean, now all of a sudden there's some real shifts in the seismic plates here with Biden dropping out. That's a new one, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that definitely is a new one. I've been reading some reports on the street's reaction, and it hasn't really been too surprising. I think way back in the day, Biden said that he wanted to just serve one term. Of course, he did come out in April of last year saying that he's going to run for re-election. But all the things that are happening, with Biden stepping down, and then now with the endorsement of Vice President Harris, I'm not saying it's expected, but it's not really moving the needle in the markets, at least.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. All right, let's get to our topics today, or your topics. Huge stock market rotation. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so there has been a huge market rotation here where investors are selling out of mega cap tech stocks and buying into cyclical stocks that are more economically sensitive. So you might hear this as investors are moving out of growth and into value as well. Essentially, what's happening here is what's been working for the first half of the year, the six stocks that have been driving the market, the mega caps, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and the others. They've been taking a breather essentially from the rally, and that's broadening out into other areas of the market. So we're seeing other areas like real estate, energy, consumer sectors, and small caps in particular. They're going higher. Why are they going higher? Well, because there's an expectation that the Federal Reserve is going to be cutting interest rates by September or towards the end of the year. So there's an assumption by Wall Street, which is always forward-looking, right? The market is forward-looking that these are the sectors, these are the companies that are going to benefit from a lower interest rate environment. So that's why the rotation is happening.
Okay, good. So you said some of the sectors were real estate, energy. What were the other couple few there? Small caps you might have mentioned.
Yeah. So real estate, energy, consumer sectors. Just kind of think of what is to benefit when there's lower interest rates.
Right.
When interest rates are lower, that's going to spur some demand in the housing market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loans are going to be less expensive because of lower interest rates, so that's going to increase disposable income for consumers to maybe spend on electronics or maybe spend more on apparel, makeup, what have you. So that's kind of the mindset to have when there's this big economic potential change that's set to happen.
Yeah, that's interesting. I chatted with a real estate friend of mine maybe a week before, and she complained about interest rates in her business. She sells real estate, right? And that was her complaint. So maybe she's going to have a brighter day here going forward if they kind of cut those rates a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good news. Okay.
Hmm.
Great. Small caps. What's an example of a good small cap? I'm trying to think if I even trade it.
Yeah, it's all about market capitalization. So think of companies that have maybe are in like the low billions, or no, maybe even smaller, like the high millions, I would say 100 millions. So yeah,
Yeah.
nothing is coming to mind right now.
Okay, so it cuts off in the billion, low billions is kind of, and lower is kind of the small cap. We don't want to child's play. We don't want to play with those little babies. No, I'm kidding.
I will say though, the Federal Reserve is going to have to find a nice sweet spot by not cutting too early, but also not waiting too long to cut too late, because there's a lot of economic data that's happening, and this economic data is backward looking. So it's important for them to make sure that they are cutting at the right time and not being too late or too early here.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm eager to see how that plays out. I think they've already said some sort of comments relative to interest rates. Paul's spoken a little bit about that already.
Yeah.
Interesting to see. So we'll see. Okay, good. What's going on with Meta? Hold on a second. I got to be honest. I used to like the Facebook part of this. I don't like the change to Meta. It confuses me.
Yeah, well, remember a couple years ago, or maybe more at this point, there was this whole metaverse. You thought, AI was the key word this year. Well, remember years ago when Meta was that word and everybody was getting into the metaverse. Meta even changed its name because of that. So
yeah, Zuckerberg took the bait and named it Meta, didn't he?
Yeah.
He only has a few $100 billion. Jeez.
Well, funny enough, that name is kind of resonating with the story that we're going to be talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is close to home for me. I'll tell you why in a second, but go ahead.
Okay, so Meta, they're in discussions of potentially taking a 5% ownership of EssilorLuxottica. That's the company that makes Ray-Bans.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be worth about $5 billion. And actually, Meta and this company they've been working together for years in development of their smart glasses, their Ray-Ban smart glasses. Mm-hmm. But this is important because Meta's Reality Lab division, mm-hmm. which makes hardware products such as the smart glasses and other software products, they've been losing billions upon billions of dollars. But the smart glasses are kind of a bright spot because they've been in high demand recently. And there's a third generation that's set to come out that's supposed to have all these really cool features. So I thought that was an interesting piece of news that Meta's potentially going to be buying a huge stake in this company as they see some bright spots from those smart glasses.
Yeah, interesting. So there's Essilor. I'm not going to say this right. EssilorLuxottica sounds Italian to me.
They do have factories based in Italy. I think their company headquarters are in France.
Okay. Well, that makes sense too. So what else does Essilor do besides Ray? Is Ray-Ban a small part of Essilor, and they do big, gigantic other things, or is that the main business, do you think?
That's a good question. I haven't dived into the
Yep.
business, but I would say the Ray-Bans are definitely one of the main products that they're known
Mhm.
for. And with the Meta partnership, they've been there. There's two generations of the smart glasses right now. When they first came out with the
Mhm.
first generation, it wasn't really catching a lot of traction. But when Meta incorporated its AI technology in the glasses, that's when there was more demand. And now they can't make them fast enough
Oh,
because
wow.
they're just grabbing them off the shelves. These glasses, they retail for $299 currently.
Mhm.
And there's a third generation that's going to come out that when you wear them, it senses what's happening around you, and you can ask it questions and it will answer to you. And you can do things
Wow.
like live streaming, listen to music, all these bells and whistles from
Love it.
glasses.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
impressive.
The reason this is close to home is because Ray-Ban is one of my favorite sunglass makers, and I think I buy a pair every other week. So Meta has figured out through Instagram how to nail me with advertising on Ray-Ban glasses, and they always send me the ones that are on sale because that's more enticing. And I'm like, oh, look at that! I got 47% off. I might as well buy those too. And you can even try them on with your phone. So when you're sitting
Oh,
there, I'm always on my phone on Instagram, right, or whatever, that Facebook. And they say, here, try them on, and they put your camera on, and it puts them on your face. I'm like, this is really cool. I can see how they look. And guess what the next step is after that? Click, click, purchase, purchase, and 2 weeks later they come in the mail. And
yeah.
I admit, I literally Ray-Ban. When I saw this, I was laughing because I was going to tell you this story. Ray-Ban, I probably have maybe as high as 10 pairs of Ray-Bans now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because I love them. First of all, they're cool, and they got very different styles too. I must admit.
Mhm.
And they're a little on the expensive side, but when you get the sale, I only buy them when they're on sale. It's amazing some of the discounts you get, and they're good glasses. I think they're really pretty good glasses.
Yeah, it's a timeless sunglass, and you can wear
Right.
it for so many different occasions. And I think that this collaboration that they're doing with Meta is just um,
Hmm.
it's just been really successful, which is why Meta is considering a stake in the company. So if you buy the smart glasses, you gotta give us a demo.
Oh yeah, for sure. So one last thing on this is you mentioned the music part of the sunglasses. Now I have a pair. I won't say the competitor's name. Well, I guess I could. Bose. They built a pair that connects to your iPhone and your Spotify and whatever. It's Bluetooth, and you sit there with them on, and they look like Ray-Bans actually. And the music, the speakers are like right here, and like for at the beach or the pool when you're on vacation, you hear it really well, but the people around you don't, which is amazing. And I'm assuming that we're going to get a little of that action here with this Meta Ray-Ban collaboration as well. We'll get something like that, above and beyond too, with all the AI and virtual stuff that could happen as well.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, really cool. I love the music part of it. I love listening to music, especially when I'm sitting by the pool with my Miami Vice drink. Unbelievable. All right, we're gonna get moving. Let's go to the semis. So Uncle Donald Trump might be putting a little tariff on some of these semi people from overseas, huh? Is that what's going on here?
Yes, so obviously we mentioned earlier the rotation that's happening out of tech and into cyclicals, and I would say that the semiconductor stocks were a part of that pain, but they got even more pain after there was this Bloomberg Business Week interview that President Trump did, and he was talking about Taiwan, the country, and how they need to, if he were to be US president again, he would tell them they need to pay the US to protect them or something along those lines. And in the tech world, obviously semiconductor chips are the new gold in our economy nowadays. And Taiwan Semiconductor Company, they produce a majority of chips for the entire world. So it's a very concentrated monopoly there with Taiwan Semiconductor. So with that news that came out, it kind of affected the sector, and in particular, companies that are linked to semis like Nvidia, for example. And this comes after Taiwan Semiconductor and its competitor ASML
Mhm.
beat their earnings expectations. They performed very well, but unfortunately the stocks were impacted. I'll
Right.
also add that President Biden, he was also considering more trade restrictions with China,
Mhm.
and that has also impacted the semiconductor. U.S. semiconductor technology in general. But yeah, there was some pain in the semi world recently, and that was sparked by the political front.
Yeah, I wonder. You think the semi conductor sector shakes that off though, or can they? I mean, it depends on the tariff, I suppose, right? If it's well, any tariff isn't great, but I wonder if they shake this off a little bit. If this is this saber rattling a little here with this industry, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's important to take note of it because usually politics it doesn't really influence the markets that much unless it's some sort of policy or tariffs or anything geopolitically that might impact
Hmm.
companies. So I think it's important to keep an eye on this one, especially since semis are a technology that are incorporated in literally everything nowadays, and
Sure.
not only laptops and iPhones, but also cars require
Hmm.
chips. So it's a very important commodity nowadays. And if there's any sense that that could be impacted, then I think we might see some moves in the future again.
Okay. Are you ready to go major bearish on these? I don't think I am. I don't either. I agree. Yeah.
No, no, definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay, good. All right, awesome. Big plans for the weekend? Or are you just laying low?
Laying low this weekend,
Okay.
but living in New York, you never know if something could pop up.
All right, good, good. Well, that's awesome. The weather's been great where I'm from, and I'm sure it's been great by you.
Yeah.
The new place to live, the Midwest. I'm telling you, our whole climate's changing to bring people to the Midwest. But we're trying to keep them out of there with our tax policy, so it's great. So good to see you as always, Paulina. Thanks for this. This is awesome. Look for me in my Ray-Ban sunglasses next time on the show. I will wear them.
Yes, can't
Um,
wait.
I can't wait. All right, good. Good to see you. Have a great weekend.
Good to see
And
you.
we'll see you next Friday on the Brew.
See you next week.
All right. Oh, we didn't say why Molly's not here. My God, she had a whole birthday week. Let's just call it. It was a whole week, starting on Monday all the way through Friday. It was a birthday week. You know,
Happy birthday to Molly.
Molly, happy birthday, Molly. We missed her. Be well. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Bye, Paulina.
Bye bye.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.